Welcome, guys. This is Popping Out. We're here in the beautiful, very manly place called the Fortress of Solitude, which is located at 53 University Ave in Newark, New Jersey. This is our basis of our operation. I am Matthew Ramos. This is my brother.
How you doing, Eli?
So right now we have, as you can see, a collection of figures that was actually new for this year. It came out, at least announced, during the New York Toy Fair. If I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure you'll correct me. But as you can see, it's a Great Mouse Detective line. And I remember watching this movie when I was a kid. I don't know if my brother Eli got my parents to buy it for us.
It came out in 1986.
He is correct. That is fact checked.
Three years before you were born, and I was only 6 years old. And I think we saw it. Thurman Carey, shout out to my boy Thurman. Video cassette, probably late 80s, early 90s. Because if you to remember this cartoon, then you had to be old enough. So at least, guessing early 90s, you had the VHS. So that's how I saw it. I didn't see it in the movies.
And for those youngins, VHS was a cassette tape that you can see in the show Stranger Things.
There you go. And there's a lot of mock boxes out there now, DVDs and stuff.
So, the cool thing about Pops, at least in the last, I would say, 5 years, or maybe going back, they've been having their finger on the pulse of our childhood.
Everything. Nostalgia sells.
Yes. So, I picked up my addiction through my brother. He's a huge collector. I don't know how many comics do you think you own?
10,000 easy.
Yeah, I own a few thousand.
One day I'll count them, and then I'll give you a head count when we do like a branching out from one of our other podcasts. Yeah, a lot. Mostly Batman though.
Sure. And out of 1,000, my brother handed me down some. A lot of the Robins. I know, like one of the first sets he gave me was Robin #2, which is the storyline of him against Joker, with the reflective
cover.
Has the little card, the hologram. So we're big collectors. We're very passionate. But as you can see, this line actually was announced in June 29th of 2020. So that was some good news.
Wow.
For 2020. I know it's this year has been very tedious.
Like a cartoon or a comic book.
But listen,
with consequences.
Things like this helps us escape, and we can find the small things that make us happy. So getting into the small things, as you can see, the characters are mice, and we're gonna start out. Not that mouse. Mickey was big on the mice. Actually, bringing that up with the rescuers, they had a little conflict at this because it was coming out too early, so they didn't know if they wanted to do another mouse film. Luckily for us, they did.
Yeah. It was a good cartoon. I think I don't correct me because the internet will correct me.
Of course.
I don't know if Don Bluth worked on this one from All Dogs Go to Heaven, the Dragon's Lair game. We'll go over video games another time.
Yes. Actually,
but it has that look, and I think Tim Burton may have even worked on this one too, if I'm not mistaken, as well. It kind of has that feel. The animation was flawless. It was really cool. I mean, we'll get into the plastics in a moment, but I would like to shout out to Radigan here. Vincent Price was one of my favorite actors when I was a kid. Like, the cheesy horror black and white movies. He was 6 foot tall. He was creepy, but he was also really elegant in a way and very smart. And you could tell, right? But the cool thing about this character was originally he was supposed to be a scrawny rat.
Bring him up.
Radigan. We'll talk about Radigan. Bad guy first. Why not? Everyone likes the villain. So he was kind of made to be a thin rat, but since I guess maybe based more on because Vincent Price was tall and thin, and also from The Thriller, remember from Michael Jackson's video too. But because of his voice, and when animators draw a little bit of, I'm also an animation. We both are, but I'm an animation historian too, or at least self-proclaimed. When people do voice acting, they will actually draw from the videos the character, the actor, and the way they're performing. And since Vincent Price he was really tall already, and he had this really booming voice and this elegance to him, they were like, you know what? Instead of this scrawny rat, let's make him bigger. So like his ego will also kind of embody his body, more or less. So yeah, that's kind of a fun fact. Vincent Price passed away in 1993. But he was acting like I tell people, do your passion because it'll take you all the way to life, and you'll be happy, you'll be at peace, and you die doing what you love. You know.
Of course. Can't ask for a better life than
No.
doing what you love, man. And the cool thing about Ratigan, too, I mean, let's not call him a rat because, you know, he doesn't like that too much. He's a big mouse, you know. But the cool thing about this pop is one of the iconic scenes when after they kidnap the queen, you know, pretty much he has his robe out. The robot is introducing him. And he comes out of the curtains in the back. And he has all his medals. You know, self-proclaimed. You know, he has it out there.
Look at me!
And the cool thing, the pop actually like went into pretty high detail.
Yeah, these are awesome.
Of all the little medals. He thinks he's a Ninja Turtle. He has his aura on his belt. He has his sword. Actually, I don't know if this is... I didn't notice in the movie. But if you look at his tail, as you can see here, his tail is actually partly covered. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Just
you know, so say, listen, Ratigan is, and the cool thing about Ratigan, the whole, you know, dynamic with him going against my man Basil, is that they're both like equally, you know, I would say on the playing field of intellect.
Kind of like a Moriarty to Sherlock Holmes.
Of course, yeah. Well, just in case you didn't know, this is definitely a homage to the Sherlock Holmes series, which is pretty good break. Yes, let me show you the actual image of it. And the ghost woman behind me is my lovely wife, who's helping me, you know, bring out the facts, keeping us on track.
Shout out to Tiff.
Of course, see. So I'm telling you, I think they hit it pretty well. I don't know if you can catch it, but oops. That is the scene. So yeah, and he does have the coat. I missed it. You know,
he does cover his tail?
He does cover his tail. So listen, it's probably one of those things that was so quick. But, you know, Funko's doing a great job. Cool thing about the box, my brother's pretty good with voices, so I let him read it in the best Vincent Price
really?
He can do. All these...
Oh, boy, here we go. I never did Vincent Price before. Oh, this is wicked. So delightfully wicked. Sounds kind of like Stewie, but...
It's all good. Better than I can do. So as you can see, that's actually... I don't know what year was the first pop that started with the... when you pop the lid open.
Those are really cool.
They actually have different, let it be numbers, something related to the actual movie. So as you can see, you know, they have his saying right on there. So it's a really awesome addition to the line. So let's go to the man.
The mouse, Basil. Smile, everyone.
So let me show you right here. You want to do Basil?
Elementary, my dear Dawson.
So as you can see, they have it up there.
It's awesome sculpt too.
You know, so here's the box.
Fun, useless fact. This was one of my top 5 Disney movies when I was a kid. So when Thurman used to bring the VHS, we had like the ones that we watched all the time. So there were movies that I'd be like, yo, bring it over. And I'd watch it again and again. That was definitely one of my top 5. I love the character too. He was slick. He was like Sherlock Holmes, really.
And I wonder, you know, if Sherlock Holmes definitely helped breed different superheroes with Batman. And even this movie, when he goes, you know, in his, I guess, his disguise, when he goes to the pub.
Oh, yeah.
He
like
has...
Malone.
Yes. That's what I was hinting at. You know, he has the little, like, bum's cap. And
Did
he
he have,
has
like, a
the
fake scar, too?
Yeah, he has the mustache. He has a toothpick in his mouth. I guess that's the stereotypical villain who hangs out in the...
Like the pirate.
On the pier. But yeah, so it's pretty cool, and as you can see...
I gotta watch the movie when I get home.
Yeah, I made sure we watched it before we filmed this, so we can...
Put me on blast with it.
We can hit... You've seen it, probably seen it 100 more times than I have.
Yeah, I did. I know most of the lines still. You pop it in. I probably know most of the lines.
You know, so... And even like anything else, in the time in the movie, there's a point he gives up because he feels defeated.
Yeah.
And his partner, you know, actually had to remind him, like, listen, we're down now, but we're not out. And that's always a great lesson.
And he was giving up, right, when their lives were going to get
cut
off. Literally.
He admitted defeat before it even happened. It was, you know, it could have happened, but his partner was like, listen, as long as we're up, we're going to keep fighting. So there's a lot of hidden messages that are really positive in a lot of these Disney films. I feel sorry for the moms of the Disney films, but other than that. So, and now we have the last of the line so far, which is Olivia, and her last name is Flabbergaston. Or whatever. So, the cool thing about her, you know, it's very cute, almost like to the movie actor. The big head, the big eyes. You know, she has a little.
Reminds me of Roxy when she was 3.
Yes, and Roxy is my brother's daughter, just in case.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't following him on his page to know that little insight. But yeah, no, it's just pretty awesome. Anything else? Very dynamic pose. I think the animated line of the Funko Pops, they do an amazing job.
Yeah, they do.
To the point that you forget it's a Funko Pop.
Yes. Other than the scary, ghostly eyes.
Yeah, and even some of them actually have eyes. So, and the cool thing around here, which I'm hoping...
Oh, yeah.
So, there's not really a saying that they have, but if you look here...
Silhouette.
I don't know if you can see the silhouette, and no, it's not Batman. You know,
or Man-Bat.
Or Man-Bat. You know, it's actually one of Radican's, I guess, his main man.
His hench-bat.
Who is Fidget. And Fidget, just in case you forgot, he's a bat who cannot fly, and he has a peg leg.
He had like the crutch.
No, he was limping.
Leg.
He was just a peg leg.
And a boot.
Yeah, he had a little boot, yes.
Gotta draw that character.
So I'm hoping that
you gotta make them. Buy them so they'll make
shadow,
more.
yes. The shadow is indicating, like, you know,
I have 2
unlockable. So if you buy them all, I'm putting it out, you know, in positive energy into the world that they actually put it. My wife's like, please don't. We need money, and not for pops. But yeah, I mean, like, listen, the movie's great. I mean, like, you know, I saw it again. It holds up. I think the runtime's an hour and 15 minutes.
Yes.
So if you take away like the credits, like an hour and 5. So it's short, it's sweet. You know, it gets you in the beginning of the movie. It's like a murder happens. You know, when she's with her father, showing her a cute toy, and already, bam, kicks in. You know, he's fighting. Well, I mean, not to say he. You know, Fidget's fighting with the father. Then it cuts back to her fright face she hides behind, and you cut back. They're gone. So that's how the movie kicks out. And it really doesn't lose momentum for the whole hour and a half. And the cool thing, let's go to Radican. Since we're mixing different movies and genres, Radican's pretty awesome in this movie. I mean, like, because he's very smart, but his problem is rage. And, you know, talking to modern shows, you would say if you watch the new Daredevil, when you have Roski and Fisk, very similar.
Like Fisk. Yeah, you're right.
Very similar. Very, like, you know, they have that talk, you know, the gift of gab, but their rage is what keeps them down, and it shows you.
When they get cornered, they go nuts.
Yeah, so when that brute strength reaches his intellect, but he can't keep both. And that is his downfall. I won't spoil the movie, but
okay. I'll say a quick one. In the movie, see, he's very well dressed and all that, but he actually hulks out when he gets upset to a point he becomes like brutal. That was really cool.
He becomes a rabbit.
And you think about it, I wonder what they would have done if he was scrawny. If they would have went from the first idea, probably wouldn't have been as cool or as creepy. I remember as a kid being freaking out.
So yeah, I mean, like, you know, listen, it's one of those things. There's not much to clean about the film. Maybe besides the point that there's only one. You know, I mean, the line, pop
It's based
line.
on a book series, right?
Yes, there is an actual. It's the Basil Baker Street. That is actually the book series, and it was by Eve. Her last name?
Titus,
right? Yeah. So, listen, I was hoping that they would. I don't know how deep the books go, but it would have been awesome to see another one. But then we always have. Sherlock Hound, which pretty much, which was before this actually. I think that was in 82?
Yeah.
84.
The one from Miyazaki?
Yes. And that's
that was pretty good. I have that on DVD.
This, you know, if you're a fan, especially
for those that don't know Miyazaki, that's Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo, right?
Yes.
A lot of others, yeah. Even Lupin.
Yes.
What was it? The Castle of Cagliostro.
Yeah. And the cool
More
thing,
stuff to watch.
He's like, you know, pretty much Japan's Walt Disney.
Yeah, and he was influenced by Walt Disney too. He actually said it.
Yeah, that's great, you know, documentaries, and he still does art to this day. I mean, like,
beautiful watercolor.
You know, yeah. So, listen, if you're not aware of, you know, his films, please check it out.
One thing about art, it inspires art. That's the one thing I love about this store, and I love about art. It's like, if I got into this as a child, it spawned into something else, and another interest, and into paintings, writing, drawing, watercolor, acrylics, murals. It's amazing. So that's why art is so important. It's like the wildfire of our soul. Me being a fireman makes sense, right? It's like the wildfire of our soul.
And like fires, for it to grow, it has to be fed.
Yep.
So with that, being around in the store, that's all about comics, movies, pop culture. These things, the more we collect, the more it feeds into our passion. With passion, you can create. And, pretty soon, like my brother paints all the time. I draw, I like doing illustrations. But again, I learned from his passion. So his fire lit the furnace underneath me. And hopefully from the people we come in contact with, especially we work with a lot of youth. He's a teacher. Schools, so that's something we try to share. So listen, your passion, let it be
passion's important.
Toys, music, movie, writing, dancing,
anything,
cooking, whatever you want to do, always do it.
Follow your bliss.
Of course, listen, if it's not hurting nobody, make sure you follow through with it because it's your life. No one can tell you otherwise how to live it. I guess with that, we'll wrap up with what line, actually, before we get out of here.
Shoot.
If they made, let's say, season 2, a series 2, what figures besides Fidget, that's a no-brainer, what would you like to see in this coming line? Funko, this is for you. Hopefully you're listening.
From this? From
this, yeah, from the Great Mouse Detective.
Maybe a Funko rides of him and Dawson on Toby. Or the 3 of them on Toby.
And if you want to explain who Toby is.
Oh, Toby's the basset hound that lives upstairs. Is that Sherlock Holmes' dog, by the way?
That is.
Okay,
so
I remember.
At the end of the movie, when everything's said and done, you actually see what they hint at, Sherlock Holmes playing his violin upstairs.
That's right.
So, yes, so he is actually, they live in the same world, if you want to think of that. Me, personally, again, Ratigan's one of my favorite characters in this line. I think out of the Arabies one, when he goes Rabbit, would be awesome.
Rabbit,
you make him with the bewildered look, or even regular outfit, Or I even would like to see, of course, his partner.
Dawson.
Dawson. Or if you make a 2-pack, you can put them in their little pub outfit.
Oh, yeah, that's
that would
cool.
be great. Mother, Funko.
What about Felicia?
Felicia?
The cat.
Oh, yeah, right. You're right.
Oh.
So, yes, the mystery voice again is my wife, Tiffany. Yeah, she's right. Yeah, the cat, the cat would be great, too. If you make her like 10 inches, you have a whole mouse. But that's wild. We're not gonna go there. But yeah, no, Felicia, yes. Yeah, Felicia would be awesome. So remember, Funko, if you need any ideas, you know who to reach out to.
There you go.
My wife, because she's the thinker. But yeah, I guess with that, listen, guys, we'll be coming back to you with different genres, different figures, and let us know what you think. Let it be about our lovely face mask. Which again, he's my brother, but we are wearing our masks. You got to be protected in this world, So until then, you got any last words?
Last words: stay encouraged and encourage one another.
There you go. Listen, proof of the pudding is me, man. If I need help, I got my wife and I got my brother. So, and I got Funkos when they're not around. And look at these guys. Don't they bring a smile to your face?
Look, he's smiling.
With that, listen, guys. Stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you for your time. Peace.